right at the start, I'm connecting to the TryHackMe server VPN so I can actually access the machine to do it. So we are tasked with turning Rick back into a human from a pickle. And it's asking us to exploit a web server. So first thing I'm gonna do is go to that web server and search around. My first instinct is to always look at the page source and see any hidden files, any hidden comments, and I do so right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that name away in a file for safekeeping for later use. I'm using this tool called GoBuster now, and it's used to brute force URIs and other hidden files and subdirectories of a website. I unfortunately did not find that much besides this assets directory, and there wasn't that much useful information in there at all. With GoBuster failing to do what I wanted it to do, I had to find another way. So I found a new tool called Nikto, and you could scan an IP, and it also looks for common folder names and subdirectories that could have something. After a couple minutes, I finally got something, login.php. I then looked it up and found a login page. I was pretty confused on where to go right here because I did not have a password, and I last second remembered that the robots.txt file existed, and so I went ahead and searched that up, and I ended up finding Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, which is a saying from the show, but I just tried it as a password and it magically worked. Once we got into the system, I saw that there was a command line control panel, and it allowed me to type in commands and see files in the system. And one was one of the ingredients, so I was trying everything. It didn't allow cat as a normal command, so I had to find a way around it. And less ended up working. And the first ingredient I found was Mr. Misi Care. Once we got that first ingredient, I wanted to look around the system more. So I looked in the home folder for any users, and I found Rick. And I could look in there, and I saw it had the second ingredient. So it took me a while to get the contents of it. It had the same issues as the first ingredient, where you couldn't cat. And it also had a space in the name, so that gave me some trouble, but I eventually got it. Because I had access to the command line, I wanted to set up a reverse shell. So on the right, I am using a tool called Netcat that's listening on port 43021, and on the command panel I am sending a PHP script that calls my computer's IP and the same port 43021, and it allows a reverse shell to be gained. Now that we have a reverse shell set up, we can now do something really cool with a script called linpeas. Linpeas is a script that searches for possible paths for privilege escalation. It does this through exploits or through outdated versions of programs or applications. In order to get the linpea script on the target machine, I'll need to set up a Python web server. The command to do that is python3 space -m http.server. From the reverse shell, it can access the HTTP Python server and then download the linpea script to get it on the target machine. Now we have the linpea script on our target machine. Our next step is to make the linpea script executable, and then after that it's to just run the script. Now that the scan is complete, it gave us that the sudo version was out of date. And with this, it allows you to go from a non-privileged user to the root user. And I was trying to do that exploit. Unfortunately, it wouldn't load on the page, but I found the command on a different page and I tried using it. Unfortunately, that command did not work, and I ended up trying something a lot more simple because of it, and it ended up giving me the correct answer. Funny enough, the most simple answer would have worked, and I think that goes to show you that sometimes the simple answers are overlooked because I spent more time than I should have trying to figure this out.